Well, not the speech I wanted to give. We came up a little short, but if you followed the results across the state, I think you'll agree with what I'm about to say, which is that democracy in action, even with all of its blemishes and its volatility, remains a beautiful thing. The citizens of Pennsylvania came out today. They voted in record numbers from what we're seeing, and we honor those results even if we don't like them. I just spoke with Mayor Fetterman and congratulated him on becoming the Lieutenant Governor-elect of a Commonwealth that we both love. Before I get into some brief remarks, I just have a couple thank yous. Now, I could thank everybody in this room, and probably would take me 4 hours to thank all the people I've met around the state. So if I've left your name out, please don't be insulted. I want to start with thanking Chairman Val DeGiorgio, National Committeeman Bob Asher, and National Committeewoman Christine Toretti for your guidance, for your friendship these many, many months, in fact, these many years. I want to thank all 67 of the county chairs, many of whom I've been to their homes, gotten to know their families, and all the members of state committee and so many members of the local county committees who've been just incredible, incredible volunteers for Scott and for the movement that he started. Of course, I want to thank our incredible Wagner team. And all you are out there, you guys just heard me speak before. That's absolutely worth an applause. Connor McGinnis, who's become like a son to me. He's been with me almost 2 years from the very before this even started. Of course, Scott, Tracy, and their beautiful family, who've become like a family of my own. I want to give a shout out to my father in Florida. And I remember my mother who passed in April. I remember her every day on the campaign trail. I think about her every day and miss her very much. And finally, I want to thank my lovely wife, Cheryl. Baseline, you have to put up with a lot, and the last 2 years, you've put up with a lot more. I love you very much. You've been the rock of our family for 20 years, and thank you for everything you've done. Emily, if you're watching, you better be studying, because you should be up here if you're not studying. And little Sarah, who's in Israel, somewhere in the Negev desert right now, I hope she's asleep. And finally, I want to thank all of the Pennsylvanians that welcomed me into their lives throughout this 21-month journey. Over these 21 months, I have had the privilege to meet thousands of our fellow Pennsylvanians, visiting hundreds of businesses, dozens of farms, and eating well over 300 chicken meals. Do you know you can have chicken for breakfast? I will never forget the farmers that I've met who are the true stewards of the land they seek to pass from generation to generation. I will never forget the women and men who put their heart and soul into the small businesses that are the foundation of the communities that power and enrich our great Commonwealth. I have loved almost every minute of this incredible journey. The ups and downs, the triumphs and setbacks, because for me, in these very turbulent times, these 21 months reaffirmed the genuine goodness of the people of Pennsylvania. Perhaps nowhere was this more evident than 1 week ago, just now, when I stood outside the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh with well over 100 people in what became an impromptu interfaith service with lots of praying and singing and, of course, crying. It showed the very best of Pennsylvania and her citizens. For me, this campaign was always about one simple vision: that Pennsylvania can be the fastest growing, most dynamic state in the nation. And if we achieve that goal, if we achieve that growth, then we make Pennsylvania a place where our children and grandchildren choose to live. As I mentioned to Mayor Fetterman on our call just now, I stand ready to help Governor Wolf and his administration with any policy initiatives or programs that further this vision for Pennsylvania. For 21 months, I have endeavored every day to be optimistic, thoughtful, and respectful, and to engage everyone, supporters and detractors alike, with civility. I will continue to live these most important values and hope in some small part that I can contribute to improving the level of civil discourse in our Commonwealth. And in so doing, improve the lives of the Pennsylvanians that Scott and I and our whole team have fought so very hard to represent. So before I ask Scott and Tracy to come out with their family and introduce him, hard to say it, right, for the last time as his running mate, I just want to thank you all again. From the bottom of my heart, and on behalf of my wife Cheryl and our whole family, this truly has been the journey of a lifetime. I'm so grateful for everything you've done to keep us on this way and keep us energized. I will never forget what you've done for us, and I hope at some point down the road I can start to repay that incredible debt that I owe to each and every one of you. And so with that, I'm going to call up Scott and Tracy and their family. And before I do that, I just want to say that I've stood side by side with this man for almost exactly 12 months. I've known him for almost 2 years. No one works harder. No one cares more about the people of Pennsylvania. No one's put more of himself, his own time, his treasure, everything he has into this campaign. It has been a privilege and an honor to serve by his side. I desperately wish that we would have had an opportunity to work together over the next 8 years. And anything Scott Wagner would ever need from me, he would only have to call or text or just shout. I'm sure I'd hear it. And I'd come running for him. He's that kind of guy. And so with that, it is my honor, my privilege to welcome up on stage my dear friend and the man who's worked so hard for all of us, Scott Wagner.